When I first started Rocktop Construction, the very first thing I did was roofing. And I thought, this is a great opportunity because I heard of how insurance companies will replace a lot of storm damaged roofs. The most common kind of insurance policy is called RCV, Recoverable Cost Value. What does that mean? They use a lot of acronyms. It just means the cost of replacing the whole roof. And 6 years ago, if you're missing a few shingles, there's a very good chance that your insurance company would replace the entire roof. Now, that's of course after deductible. Things have changed. Every year, roofing companies are changing their policies on how they enforce their policies. And what does that mean? That means that they are more likely to deny a roof that's missing just a few shingles. In fact, you might be missing a lot of shingles. And they might not consider hail damage as severe as they once did. This is across the board. It isn't just a few insurance companies doing this. They've lost a lot of margin because there's been a lot of big storms across the country. There's been some big disasters, and people are getting a little bit smarter about how to use their policies. In fact, there's a lot of people knocking on doors saying things like, I guarantee you I'll replace this roof. And they can't say that, and they shouldn't say that. They're not the insurance company. And there are differences between some of the insurance companies. There are differences one adjuster to another. So it wouldn't be a smart thing for someone that's selling roofs to say, I guarantee you anything. There's also public adjusters in certain situations if you're being treated very unfairly. But some of the things that have changed is deductibles have gotten bigger. What they approve has gotten tougher. And in some cases, it's now a percent of your deductible rather than a set amount. It's a percent of the value of the property, and it may seem small, but then when you add it up, it's gotten bigger and bigger just as values have gone up on property. Sometimes they take the roof and they change that to an ACV policy within the RCV policy. What does that mean? Well, ACV means actual cash value, and that is what they'll pay on a roof after depreciation. So they take the RCV amount, they subtract the depreciation, and what you're left with is the ACV amount. And then the deductible comes out of that too. So then you might find, wow, this policy isn't all that, what I thought it might be. And maybe you shouldn't have put in a claim. Is it bad to put in a claim? It can be. It didn't used to be as risky, but just like with auto now, you have a record of claims. It goes into a national database. It doesn't matter if you switch insurance companies, they can still see it in there. So if one insurance company drops you, it might be hard to get picked up by another. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't put in a claim, but you should be very careful about when you do it. If you're only going to collect $3,000 or $4,000, I would recommend not doing it. Save it for when you have maybe a bigger disaster, because if you have multiple legitimate reasons to do claims back to back, you could end up getting dropped, even no fault of your own. So the best thing to do is get advice from a good professional on when and when not to do a claim. Don't call in a claim first. Get the advice about the situation before you make that move, and see if we can help you put your best foot forward. I'm Lon with Rocktop Construction. I do free inspections. I am able to help homeowners with the process if they do file a claim, and I'm not going to guarantee anything. I can't do that. The insurance companies, there's a lot of variables to consider, but I'll at least educate you about what you're up against based on what kind of damage you may have incurred.